We've got a very special guest in the house. Cheers. Simon Miller!
If you go back and watch my first WhatCulture videos, it's deer in the headlights. It's like, he came to the ring, he did a slam. It's awful. I do understand when people say you should focus on one thing. I do think there is stock in that, but that's not the way I'm built. It's just not. I need to wake up one day, today's a wrestling day, the next day's an acting day, now it's a YouTube day. What lie? Simon, can you go get Kurt Angle? I was like, what do you mean? What does that even mean? But going from day to day, do I want The Rock to come back and mess everything up? Yes.
Warning. The following views shared on this podcast are the unfiltered expressions of our vibrant personalities. We are here to dissect the pulse-pounding world of pro wrestling, from the epic battles inside the ring to the captivating storylines that keep us hooked. Our discussions may venture into unexpected territories, from questioning the creative direction or analysing the artistry behind the suplexes and submissions. Please understand that we aim to entertain, educate and engage. But please also remember that we are just merely fans and observers, and we are not actual wrestlers, journalists, or industry insiders. As we always say, by the Mandem, for the Mandem. Enjoy.
Yo, guys, what is going on? Episode 213 of the Wrestling's podcast.
Make some fucking noise!
Hey, I haven't said this line in a very long time, so I think we should all say it together. We've got a very special guest in the house. Cheers. Simon Miller!
Hey. Way too nice. Way too nice.
Hey. Big up Simon Miller for rolling through, man. Honestly, it's like we spoke bare times. We've seen you a lot of times. I hear you all the time on TNT Sports as well, on the break. And it's obviously a pleasure to have you here today, man. How you feeling, bro?
Oh, no, I'm good. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. You guys are great. You bring the kind of attitude I like to both wrestling and content creation. Do you know what I mean? Just like good vibes. Happy to have a proper conversation. Happy to throw some constructive criticism in there, but not just let's burn the house down. That just seems to be what the internet does these days. But more power to them as well. More power to them.
Yeah. Big up, man. Big up, bro. There's a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to tap into Simon Miller's humble beginnings, where he is now. I'm sure you got that. You just dropped the announcement today. Probably tap into talk about that as well.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Hell yeah.
That'll be great to talk about. But before we go, we're going to do intros. Full stretch of Nafi, formerly known as VHS Pappy. To my left.
When I say guap, please say daddy. Guap.
Daddy.
Guap.
Daddy.
It's a strong star rating, leg drop hating, big back rubbing, because Jericho loving, son of a gun, your boy, Del Boy, a.k.a. True Osprey, a.k.a. Nack Sabre Jr., a.k.a. John Strowman, a.k.a. I'm not going to lie, God forgive me if I bust my nana. I forget everything. L.A. Sway. Yeah. So left of me, we got...
It's your boy Ola, known as Tamora, known as Tyson Ola, known as the owner of CWH. You might see me in Shoreditch with your bitch.
Hey.
Or you might see me in Loading Bar with the millions
and millions
of women. If you smell what the Mandem are cooking.
I like that one.
Jeez. Yeah. What's up, people? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. As seen on WWE NXT and the newest member of WWE GP.
Let's go.
And you're tuning into another episode of the WRESTHINGS podcast.
Make fucking noise.
Simon, I don't know if you prepared your statement, your intro. You heard Mandem did the intro. You got something similar that you can drop us?
I could drop something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I can come up with something right now. I can say I'm Simon Miller. You've got the power of the wise. Slap my head. Don't make me tell you twice. I got the ups, I got the downs.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people hate me, but I just give them a brown down. That sucks, because I rhyme down with down, so I'm like, who did that? Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne has a song, right, where she rhymes meat with meat or something like that, and it annoys me. But I've done it now, so Avril, I forgive you. Sorry. That'll do, right? We'll go with that.
Big up Simon
Hilarious, man. Hilarious, bro. But yeah, man, Simon, man, obviously we've seen you. I've been watching you, like, obviously watching your content and places you feature on from, like, say, years from when I first started content creating. Obviously, when I first started it, I was watching Wrestle Talk, WhatCulture, Cultaholic, but WhatCulture is one place I kept on, like, seeing, because obviously the videos kept coming up and stuff. And talk to me about your humble beginnings. Where did you come, like, where have you started, and How did you get into content creating?
Yeah, so it's a weird one, right? So I was actually a video game dude.
Oh, shit.
I was so I left university, and my girlfriend at the time said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I don't want to grow up." That was my response to her. I think she broke up with me in that very moment. She was like, "Yeah, we're done, we're out." And yeah, I just wanted to. I just wanted to do something that I liked. I remember I was on the bus, still reading magazines, and it was the official Nintendo magazine. I don't know why I was reading this, but I was like, "Oh man, I'd like to write for official Nintendo magazine." I felt like we gotta let this guy in. We gotta let him in.
Yeah,
I can't like keep talking about my man is here. My brother.
Sit in the middle of them, yeah, in the middle of them.
Yeah, come over this way. I've come this far already.
That's cool.
Bro, oh no, I screwed it up. I screwed it up. So I was reading official Nintendo magazine, and I thought, oh, maybe I could write about video games. So I just started looking for that. That's what I started looking for. And amazingly, actually, I was talking to my mate about this today. I found an advert in a Guardian newspaper to work at Sony UK as I can't remember the exact name, but it's basically writing instruction manuals and writing the back of, at the time, PSP boxes. So anyone that played Buzz Jr. Jungle Party, Simon Miller wrote that. Loads of errors in it. But that wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't creative enough, right? It really wasn't creative enough. So yeah, so I saw another advert for a staff writer on a magazine company called Imagine Publishing down in Bournemouth. Was down there for years, worked my way up to like editor. I was running X360 magazine. And it's when it's how old I am. Mid-30s. Someone put me at 40 the other day. Don't do it. It ain't right, man.
On what? Wikipedia or what?
I don't know. It was my birthday like last month or so. It was a happy 40th. I went off. I was like, excuse me, mid-30s, all right? Don't give me an extra 4 years. But yes, I was before YouTube had properly exploded. So one day I just stumbled across YouTube. Like PewDiePie hadn't even become a thing, right? Like PewDiePie was just starting out. And I was like, this is flipping amazing. Essentially, as the whole point was, you could just put yourself on TV. So I just started making YouTube videos instantly. And the magazine that we used to make, this is how flipping old school it was, used to come with a DVD and a booklet. And what we used to start doing is, the DVD was full of game trailers. So I said, guys, let's just go into the basement where a studio like this was. It's nowhere near as nice as this, but it's like this. And I said, we should just start talking over the game trailers, right? As YouTube content before we even realized it. We were like, laughing at stuff and ragging on it. Eventually we had to stop because all the PRs were ringing us up going, oh, excuse me, we send you off trailers and you just say how crap they all look. And I said, guys, the best way to get around this is to do it on YouTube. The trailers are public domain, so they can't get mad at us. It's free content. And I remember I walked into this publishing meeting and I said it to all like the big bosses and they laughed at me, which I totally get. It's like, I bet the Blockbuster people laughed at Netflix, right? Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And so I said to them, like, I don't know why I get a bee in my bonnet every now and then. I was literally like, unless you do this, I'm going to leave. No, we're not going to do that. I'm like, yeah, and I left. I just left because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I started making video game content, came across a website called Video Gamer. They were well into the YouTube stuff, like way before anybody else was doing it. And so we got on them. We were able to create like a niche audience. It wasn't like massive, but we get like 10,000 views a video. But you knew you were getting that 10,000 views. So you knew what your core audience was. And because I'm an idiot, I got so bored of doing, let's go interview someone. Let's do a review. Let's do a preview. I was like, no, let's come up with characters and let's make a wrestling show. That's what I did. So we used to go and interview. I used to go and interview people. If I'd known that it was going to sort of get it was tiny, but a mini life of own, I wouldn't use my own name. But we started to do this show called The Miller Report, which is when I would go and interview like recognizable names of video games. And I'd tell them beforehand, look, it's all a joke. I'm going to ask you the dumbest questions ever. And I want you to be an asshole to me, essentially. That's what I did. The funniest one was always with Charles Martinet, who was the voice of Mario. He didn't get it at all. But because he was an actor, he just went along with it. And the Nintendo PR told me afterwards, he went, yeah, Charles thinks you're weird. He just thinks you're nuts. Anyway, the point is shout out to 2K. 2K totally understood it. And they said, Simon, come to WrestleMania. You should do this with the wrestlers. So I did it with Kevin Owens. I did it with Finn Balor. I did it with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was a flipping man. And in that moment, I was like, man, I should do this with wrestling content. That's what I should do this with. Because I love video games, but flipping hell, man, wrestling was my thing. So I started making wrestling content. And literally, like about 2 months after I started doing it, it's the most anticlimactic story ever. That's why I had to big it up beforehand, you see. I just saw a tweet, and it was from WhatCulture. Do you make videos? Do you like wrestling? Do you have a CV? Yes, I do. Because I've been making all these videos for the past 5-6 years. That's what I always tell everyone when they say, what should I do if you want to follow, make content, because then when the opportunity comes along, you've proven that you've got initiative and that you can do it. I sent them all this stuff they're like, yeah, you can have a trial run. I was very lucky because this was the height of the crazy wrestling stuff where if you got 1 million views, people are like, man, 1 million views, good luck with that. But they also gave me, 2016 this was, right? Let's not forget what was going on. 10 things WWE wants you to forget about Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well have just given me keys to the castle, right? So that exploded. Everyone hated me because it's a brand new voice on there's the OG crew. And I was like, who's this guy? But from there, it was just the case of, I never said no. And because I never said no, WhatCulture were like, oh, we should probably get him in the ranks because he'll work Sundays. Because I would do, because the one I remember that they were really surprised by is when Brock Lesnar got busted for the drugs after he fought
UFC,
Mark Kerr or something like that, wasn't it? Okay, that wasn't Mark Kerr. Was it Mark Kerr? Whoever it was, right? Mark Hunt, that's who it was. Yeah, because Mark Kerr was way before his time, wasn't he? And they messaged me saying, "Jum, do you want to make this video?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." I remember the response being like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." I'm literally sat around. I'm really excited about this because you put a video up and it gets a load of views. You get that dopamine hit. And I think after a while, when they realised that, I was just able to be part of that crew. So even when they jumped across to Cultaholic, they were just like, "Yeah, we'll keep Miller." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cheers, bro." So and ever since then, it's always been the same. It's a hard game. You guys know that better than anybody. Like it's a lot of hours, a lot of crazy. Even now, I've been doing it for years, and I had a deadline the other day. I had to leave a wrestling show early to try and hit a midnight deadline. Finally got the video up at 4:30 a.m. because I get fallen asleep. But it's really rewarding too. So yeah, it was just I thought YouTube was cool, and I wanted to give it as much as I possibly could give it. And then luckily the opportunities opened up, and thankfully the work I had put in paid off because people were like, "Oh yeah, look, he does know what he's doing," and now here we are. Amazingly, it was January 2016, so just 8 years ago, just the other day, which is nuts, right? Madness. That's nice. I appreciate it.
I never forget, and it's interesting to say you started from video gaming. Because one time I walked into my parents' house, I went to visit them, and they're watching Sky News, and you were there. Like I walked into the living room, and you were on Sky News talking about some video game or something to the correspondent, and I thought, this guy's doing everything. Because I knew you from wrestling. And I was like, how did he get to video games now?
So, but this is what we talked about before we hit record, right? Like networking is the most important thing ever. So I'll go do these random things in case I meet someone. And in that case, it was Gemma. Shout out to Gemma. She don't work at Sky anymore. But Gemma. It was the same kind of thing. I'd met her at an event when I was doing video games. And she put, it's the same thing. She just put a thing on social media. I need a new, I don't know, talking head for video game segments, who would do it? So I DM'd her, I said, I met you at this event. She went, went in for a trial. We talked about peaking the microphones before. The Sky producer hated me. Apparently he used to say to Gemma, it's not Simon, it's Hicks. She'd just be like, what? Just like peak the mic. But yeah, it was the same deal.
So that was a constant thing?
Yeah, I did that. Okay. I did that for like 2 years, on and off. Again, there was about 5 or 6 other people that did it. So maybe in a year I'd do it 6 times. But the amazing, this is the other thing, right? Perception is reality. The fact you remember it. Miller was on Sky. Do you want to know the best thing about that? And I'm going to ruin my complete credibility here, but who cares? I got paid nothing, right? But people would see that and they'd be like, wow, he must be doing so. But that was the gig. Yeah. That was the gig. They said, well, pay your expenses. They sent a car to my house to pick me up. It's not like they didn't treat me well. Yeah. But Gemma was honest with me. She goes, I don't have a budget for this. I'm trying to build it. So if you're part of it, we'll definitely bring you along. And yeah, after a while, you got paid sort of like £100 per appearance, which was cool. But that was after a good couple of years. But that always made me laugh because that was the one thing. Oh my gosh, my social media would go nuts. Miller, what are you on Sky for, you bald idiot? And I'm like, that's right. But yeah, actually, in terms of sort of a business thing, you could argue it was nothing. And it wasn't a surprise. She laid it on the line. Gemma was awesome. But yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? These things have sort of come along. But it's still, I tell everyone, I'm ranting now, just don't ever say no. That's always my thing, say yes. Even if you go in there and you screw it up, who cares? Like, who cares? They don't invite you back. Well, the next thing will come along and you'll be better because of it. So, yeah, always.
Smart words.
Always say yes, people.
Yeah.
One thing I always credit you for, because especially like with content creation, we try to like be aware of like the other type of content people are making and stuff like that. You're very, very positive. Very, 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 very positive. I think we're quite positive of ourselves. Of course, sometimes we might be critical, but I don't think our critique comes from a place of hate, and neither is yours.
Absolutely, yeah.
What made you go down that route in terms of like just trying to be positive about wrestling?
So it's a great question because it literally ties into the story we just told. So that's perfect. So
segue.
So the OG WhatCulture crew decided to leave yeah, WhatCulture, right? That's their story to tell. It's not my story to tell. Always super nice to me, sent me a message, let me know what was going on. But when they did leave, everyone decided, wait a minute, that one's gone, that one's gone, that one's gone. The bald guy is still there. So we think it's his fault. So I woke up one day. It's the only time I've ever left social media for a time. Oh my gosh. So you did this. Really? You did this, damn you, boy. And honestly, and I remember the one that got me to go, I'm taking a 24-hour break is somebody. I've still got a screenshot on my computer because I think...
What's the person look like?
Huh?
What's the person look like?
I don't know. He's an egg or something, right? Like,
it's good that he's an egg.
But they said... I guess I look a bit like an egg, yeah. But they said... And obviously they didn't. Like, it was all just nonsense. Like, no accountability, right? I know where your parents live and I'm going to kill your mother, right?
What?
Now, it was worse than that, but I've toned it down to be a PG product. And I read that and I was like, right, Tom, you got to take 24 hours away because I ain't... What the flip is going... It's a YouTube show, man. Who cares? Yeah. I took 24 hours away and I kind of had a Zen moment. I really thought about it. And like I sort of John Cena'd that. And I was like, do you know what? That is awesome. That is great. Someone is so invested in what we're doing, they're going to make a death threat against me, right? Now, look, it shouldn't happen and it's way too bad.
Of course.
But that's where I got to. And I was like, this is flipping great. This is awesome. That's the kind of power I wield in this stupid thing. So I went back on Twitter and I said, look, here's the deal. I wish those guys nothing but the best. I'm a pretty positive guy. I said, from now on, that's how I'm approaching all of this. And I just started doing the show positive, 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 positive because of that. And also, again, won't name drop because what's the point? I was watching a lot of other content. I wanted to punch myself in the face. Like I realized I'd be watching it for 5 minutes and they hated everything. They're screaming. Why are you watching it then for? So it was twofold. One, that cultaholic thing really made me go, you know what, I'm a positive guy. I'm going to start making sure I promote that more. But also realizing from a quote unquote more marketing point of view, no one is doing this. No one is just singing the praises of wrestling. Yeah. And given that's how I watch it anyway, let's turn it up a little bit, obviously. Let's not pretend sometimes you don't deliberately look for the good. Of course we do. And when I started doing that, it was awful at first. Awful. Oh my gosh. It's like, this is not... I mean, someone wrote something like, what is this, like fairy tale stories? It's actually quite funny. It made me laugh. And I was like, no, this is what I want to do because if you go back and watch my first WhatCulture videos, it's deer in the headlights. It's like, he came to the ring, he did a slam. It's awful. But as soon as I started doing that, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much at ease. Because that was my quote unquote inner voice, right? And then from there, the classic, you put out positivity, you breed positivity. The comments were better, the social media was better. Some people was like, oh yeah, it's just wrestling, who cares? And then we managed to cultivate this sort of like amazing environment. And then it's like a drug because you actually do it and people are nice, and they're excited and they're happy. And so, yeah, it just suited me. It suited me down to a T. But also, like, I love wrestling, man. It ain't that important. It's just not. If it went away tomorrow, we'd all be upset, but we'd still move on with it.
Can you say that again for the viewers, please? Please say that again for the viewers, because we've had viewers that have, like, literally pulled out their pitchforks whenever we said stuff. He said once again.
Yeah, no, it's not that
We got
important.
driven off of social media.
Yeah.
Well, that's just insane. That's what I mean. Look, if it does mean that much to you, I genuinely think it's awesome because you found something in your life that can light a flame in your stomach or whatever. That's cool.
tum-tum.
In your tum-tum. I got that the other day as well. Still to this day. The reason I started doing tum-tum is because someone at WhatCulture, again, nameless, I did it once because I did it to pop my girlfriend. She thought it was funny. And they messaged me and said, I don't know, a phone, whatever, talking to them. I said, Millie, you can't say tum-tum. Cannot say those words to me. I got no shame. I got zero shame whatsoever. So I just started saying it more and more and more. And literally the other day, I had someone on my own channel message me going, you're a grown-ass man, Miller. Why are you saying tum-tum? But this is the best thing I can do now. I replied and said, bro, when the warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum pro wrestling tees t-shirt is no longer my best-selling t-shirt, I'll stop selling it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I made a lot of money from that stupid phrase. I really appreciate it. But I've lost my train of thought entirely now. But yeah, just positivity was it's just what I wanted to do. And yeah, going back to what it was, yeah. It's just not that important. But I think knowing that means you can like it more. Yeah. Like it just does. Yeah. And listen, we were talking about this, and it is true. Everyone's allowed an opinion. I genuinely mean that. It doesn't matter if you're intelligent, not intelligent, watch one match, watch 100 matches. But when you do start doing wrestling, it does change your perspective on it. But it's just true. Like,
can I say something? So, okay, I haven't told the viewers yet, people that are watching the podcast and that, but I started wrestling training 2 weeks ago.
Hell yeah, you did.
And my perception...
Make some noise.
Yeah.
I was meant to be creating like a little vlog documentary on it, but I don't think that's happening because I'm trying to keep focused. Maybe the next... round of courses, I'll probably do it, but I've literally watched wrestling differently now. I was watching Raw. I had to go back at least 20 times watching Raw because I was watching the way people take bumps, watching the way people have ring awareness, watching people hold the ropes, and just seeing how stuff is. And I was saying to Mex and Ola before we started setting up, I was like, I can't call wrestlers bad. I can't call any wrestler bad anymore in my life. I can't. I physically can't because the training in itself is, mate. My neck is stiff. I can't, bro. My neck is stiff. My arms are stiff, and on top of that, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to like get muscles also. It's like my whole body's stiff, but I'm appreciating the sport on another level. Like the fact that certain wrestlers will take a bump, a crazy bump, or do a drop kick off the top rope, land on their head, and having to get back up again, run round and hit the person again, go outside the ring, run back in the ring, and bro, it's a whole nother sport. Like the appreciation levels are through the roof. I said it from today onwards, or even from 2 weeks ago. I can't call wrestlers shit. I physically can't.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Shit.
I never. Honestly, you can watch ups and downs for the last 7 years. I call a story rubbish, and I'll call.
Yeah.
And if it all falls apart, I go, that just didn't work, did it? But I've never, ever said in that 7 years, that person is a crap wrestler. There's no such thing. It's too hard. It's too hard. If you've made it to WWE in any...
That in itself, because I got my coach, I don't know if I can reveal his name because it's kayfabe, innit? But he was saying that how in like certain tryouts, you're doing 1,000 squats.
Yeah.
And I done 30 squats the other day, and I was like, "Stop, please, stop, stop, please!" Like, bro, like you can't. You're calling someone shit that's done 1,000 squats. Hindu press ups. You know what Hindu press ups is?
Yeah, they're long, man.
Bro, Hindu press ups, taking bumps in the ring, running ropes. Running ropes hurts your back. It's not easy, bro. So like, people need to appreciate what these wrestlers are giving to us. I saw the video about Maxine today, and people booing Maxine, and I'm like, that's a bit harsh.
It is harsh.
That's very harsh.
No, it's totally harsh because, and again, you're allowed to do that. I'm not saying you're not. You're allowed to make that choice.
I think in character,
But
that's fine.
that's the thing. But when you actually go and do it, you're like, she's not a bad wrestler. She had a bad performance, maybe. Two totally different things. Two totally different things. And also, like, you know, she had that Royal Rumble thing when she made the mistake with the Hurricane Rana twice. It's the 4th time she's ever been in the ring. She's doing it on live television. Like, I had a stupid start in pro wrestling. So obviously I debuted with Define, which was WhatCulture Pro Wrestling Part 2. At the time, that was deemed quite a high platform. Nobody should be debuting on that. But I was blessed with an opportunity, and you do it. You go back and watch my first performance. I'm taking on a who's who of British professional wrestling, throwing the worst clotheslines you've ever seen in your life. And bless these guys, because they're nice. Like, we'll just bump for him. Like, no worries, buddy. So yeah, I'll never call a wrestler rubbish. Because even a headlock takeover is the hardest thing in the world. It's like a maths puzzle.
I'm still to get on that.
Yeah. No, it is. And then so you see somebody do it, but no one ever mentions that. It's only when we get to sort of the high spots and all of a sudden we're talking about it. But again, look, it's a matter of perspective. But that's when we go back to the whole, it's not that important. Like, even if you hate a wrestler and you think they're rubbish, that's cool. You know, you can have those opinions, but just take a minute to go, you know what, they're a human being. I can just say this to my mate on the couch. I don't have to go and aim. It's never going to change. Like, it's a waste of breath in many ways. But if we can be the other side to all of that, then we bring balance to the force. And Star Wars has taught us how important that is. So yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, how did Simon Miller get from the gaming stuff to the wrestling stuff to now wanting to be in the ring? Yeah,
well, I mean, look, I tried way back when. I went to WrestleMania 32. There's a random thing for you. Actually, it was before that. It was WrestleMania 28. It was WrestleMania 28, WrestleMania 32, and then I eventually did it. So again, I don't want to drop names. First time I went to wrestling training, I got a very old school wrestling trainer. He kicked my ass. At one point, I essentially broke my back, and he made me do 619s. He's one of these guys. And one day I woke up and I was like, it's just not me. And also knowing what wrestling was like back then, I wouldn't have survived. I wouldn't have done, man. Like, I got thick skin, but I don't want to, venture too far off to one side here, but I'm always cool talking about this stuff. I got bullied in school, right? I've had enough of that in my life. So as soon as I feel it in my adult life, I'm like, I don't want it. I'm done with it. So I had that, so I walked away. And at that point, I decided, okay, wrestling's not for me. And then I went to WrestleMania 32 and I'll try again. But at that point, I was there was just other things going on. I could not commit to going to training properly. And I knew that was bad. I knew, well, you can't commit right now. You just can't do it. And then, when I started working at WhatCulture, they were looking for ideas. All this happened in the space of the week. Life is funny, right? And so, have you got any ideas? And I said, well, I really would like to finally put a nail in the coffin with this training to be a wrestler. And I'm not kidding you. I said, that's a good idea. The next day, I used to work in Croydon. The Croydon Advertiser, whatever it's called, dropped through. And one of the adverts, do you want to be a wrestler? I was like, you're kidding me.
That's a movie.
In a
Yeah,
newspaper.
honestly, it wasn't a movie.
And the movie, you get a crash zoom into the bench. You be like, it's like, ooh, okay.
It's like, do you want to be a wrestler? Do you remember like Attitude Era legend Al Snow? I was like, I was looking around, like, did someone just give this to me? And it was honestly a 15-minute drive from my house. And I was like, well, that's it. So
Wait, you Croydon, man?
It was in Croydon,
Were
yeah.
you training with Thing then?
I was the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. Yeah, that's where I started.
Oh, shit.
Yes, that doesn't exist.
Was Roy
anymore. It's in
Johnson there?
Croydon, yeah. Sorry?
Was Roy Johnson there?
No,
would've
he
been
may have trained there. I never saw him. But okay, he goes to King's Gym and stuff, doesn't he? He loves Croydon. So
yeah.
I think he was already working by then.
Yeah,
I think he was already working. But so I pitched to WhatCulture. I said, I'm going to go to this place. I'm going to train to be a wrestler, and we can document the whole thing. Like, we don't have to film anything. We actually did film a little bit, but it's vlog. That was with vlogs. So you just talk. Like, now talk. This is what I did. So we called it Simon His Wrestling Journey. And that was cool because it's like having a personal trainer. Gave me accountability. Well, I can't wuss out now.
Yeah.
So the plan was it's twofold. One, just have one match, cross it off the list. Again, what we were talking about. It's so that anyone wants to be a wrestler, go and do it. If you hate it, it's the best thing you'll ever do in your life because you can get your book out and go, don't want to do it. And you never think about it again. That's just as good as going.
He came to watch me on Tuesday, and I was like, bro, you gonna get in the ring? He goes, I don't know, you know. I was like, bro, you're missing out. Look, I'm about to roast him a bit. He goes, and I went back to him, I was like, oh, you're right. He goes, Lord, I've got short shit on. I got short shit. I was like, yo, hold on. I was like, yo, come next week. Speak to the coach. And I have to come next week, innit? But it's, yeah.
I'm doing the next intake next month.
It's the next month, yeah.
Everybody should do it. If you hate it, who cares? You never have to think about it again. You did it. You tried. That's awesome. So, so my goal was just to have one match. And so we did the whole training thing, hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but it was great. But the other reason is because I was there doing ups and downs for Raw. I just had this feeling, I was like, what a jackass I am. That was rubbish. Well, based on what? Like what we were just talking about, what have you done? Yeah. So I thought, well, another great way that you could bring to this that doesn't make you any better than anybody else, but it gives you an edge, right? It gives you a USP. Let's become a wrestler. And then it can be a wrestler reviewing the wrestling. I was like, oh man, you're a genius, Simon. And then, got my ass kicked. I remember the first time after I trained, I had to call in sick to work. I still had a job. I couldn't move. I was in bed going, well, my body doesn't work, so I'm not coming in. They went, you are? I said, I'm not. I couldn't, I physically couldn't move. It was the worst pain ever. And then, I got to the Defiant Rumble, which was like 2 years after I started training. And it was just, that was it. I mean, all wrestlers say it was like a drug. Like I was so there's footage out there because WhatCulture recorded.
doing the intro for Hustle already is a drug.
It's a gas.
The minute that music hits and the lights hit me, oh shit.
That's it. And I remember I was backstage. I was so nervous. Smack it up, baby. But I was so nervous. And then I walked out, bless them, they gave me a really nice reaction. And I just knew it. That's it. That's it. And then I rode that way. But yeah, it came because I knew that I had to do it. And because I didn't want to be a guy saying that was a bad match. When I wasn't out there as well, giving other people the opportunity to say, well, you had a bad match too. I think it's really important. And that I had a different perspective, like we talked about. So it all just came together. 2016 was an awesome year. It's a really good year for old Simon Miller, yeah.
Do you ever feel like, have you felt like the pressure of being Simon Miller and being a wrestler? Like, do people expect more from you because you're Simon Miller?
Okay, also because I think I saw a tweet last year at WrestleMania. Did something happen outside WrestleMania as well with fans as well?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Let's get to that after that. Yeah.
So I feel it. I don't know whether I think you get two types of fan. I think you get one type of fan that will come see me wrestle and I can have the worst match ever and they'll go, it's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Just because they're like I said, we did a live show. WhatCulture did a live show before one WrestleMania. It was one in New York. I can't remember which one. And I
remember the poster for it.
Yeah, that's right. He was in a stand-up comedy club. So I said, can I just go and do 20 minutes of stand-up comedy? And I can do whatever you want. It was not very good stand-up comedy, but because they were all with me, they were laughing like Jerry Seinfeld had just rocked up. And I think sometimes you get that with wrestling as well, which is fine, by the way. I don't care. I put a lot of pressure on myself just because when I first started wrestling, understandably, and this happened many a time in locker rooms, I don't want to work with a YouTuber. I don't want to work with a YouTuber. Like, it's embarrassing. I can't do this. I can't do that. And there was, thankfully, because I got into it older than most people, I'd been through that kind of stuff before. So I knew smile and nod, respect, smile and nod, respect. I said, yep, totally understand, no problem, smile and nod. Many times I got beaten in 3 seconds and stuff like that. Remember a wonderful match where someone just gave me the hardest lariat I've ever experienced in my life and pinned me. And I remember it was so funny because there was one guy in the crowd that had come to see me. It's like, He couldn't have been older than 14, 15. And he just looked at me and went, is that it? And I had to go, yep, it is. I signed an 8x10 for him. I gave it to him. He seemed quite happy. But but I do put a lot of pressure on myself because, listen, I am not the greatest wrestler of all time, right? And we were talking about this again because the progress stuff is now taken off. I even said to them the other day, listen, I'm never going to be whatever a 5-star wrestler in this world is. But I tell you what, it can be, potentially, the best 3-star wrestler ever. So I had a match on Sunday. That's all I wanted it to be. I knew a friend of a friend was in the crowd, and I deliberately got his feedback afterwards. All I wanted the feedback to say was, it was a very fun, what you'd expect babyface match. I kid you not, man, word for word. And I was just like, yes,
You got it, yeah.
that's all I want to do because I think you have to play to your strengths. And I'm an okay wrestler. Some days are good, some days not so good. But it's all the other stuff I feel like, I like doing promos, I like doing character work, and some wrestlers are terrified of that stuff. But again, you talked about doing a dropkick off the top rope. I would break my neck and die. So let's not do that. But I do put a lot of pressure on myself only because if someone's paid for a ticket to see me, I want to make sure they get something out of it. Yeah. But also I don't want to insult what wrestling is. The worst thing that ever happened is people thought I hadn't trained. They just thought I was turning up to shows to wrestle. And I really like to think I spent a lot of time trying to prove, no. I'm taking this as seriously as I can. When it comes to wages, I expect to be paid what a starter wrestler. That was, oh my gosh. The amount of people that wouldn't book me because they thought I was going to ask for like 10 grand or something. I was like, listen, not to ruin any British professional wrestling dreams, I was working for like 20, 30 quid for a long time because that's what beginner wrestlers paid. So I'd said, give me the money, man. It's ridiculous in many ways, but if that is the structure we're working within, but I think because of all that too, yeah. So it's like a twofold thing. I definitely want fans to feel like that's what I expected Simon Miller, the wrestler, to be. But also, and I think we're there now. I think it's okay. I think most wrestlers get it that, oh no, it's he wants to get better at this. And hopefully I've been accepted into the thing. But I put a lot of pressure on myself with everything. Even we did Raw Ups and Downs yesterday, for example. I've been doing that now for 8 years. I watched some bits back. I'm like, it's not good enough. I re-recorded it. Wow. Yeah, because anything I put out, I want to make sure that I think it's up to a quality that people are expecting. So, yeah.
No, definitely that. This WrestleMania, because obviously we were there as well in LA, and I remember there was like something you had like a thing outside, and a lot of fans swarmed you or something.
They did, yes.
So, what actually happened?
So,
It was ups and downs, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. We started doing live ups and downs after All In 2018, the first one. And somehow people recognized us and they formulated a small crowd and they chanted things.
You say somehow.
And I was like,
not who you are.
Always stay humble.
Bro,
always
you
stay humble.
are a cult, like a wrestling cult hero. I can be watching AEW and I see a sign saying ups and downs, or I see like a floating head.
I walked into my parents' living room and they were watching Simon Miller.
That's ridiculous. I appreciate all of that a lot. That's what happened, right? So anytime we started going to live events, we started to do it after the show. Now, of course, WrestleMania 39, night 2, what happened? Cody Rhodes lost. A lot of people mad, man. A lot of people drunk mad. So they decided, well, I know how we can get our frustrations out. We'll find that bald guy and we will shout and we will scream. Now, what we didn't know is that we were going to get... I've never had that many people around me in my life. It's a good thing that I like this stuff. I can imagine, like my girlfriend actually said to me, she goes, I would have just freaked out because there was a lot of people and they were angry and they were pushing and they were shoving and they were shouting to the point we had to cut this out. I had to turn around at one point and went, dudes, we all got to calm down, all right? It's a fun, stupid show and it's getting too Larry, like, and it got so Larry. What was this? The SoFi Stadium, right?
Yeah,
a security guard at SoFi Stadium had to come out and say, dude, we're going to have to move you to the parking lot.
By the way, the security on job. Security ran, bro. They stopped us.
They really?
They said, you gotta get over here, man. You gotta. And they had their hand in their pocket. I was like, no, I'm a black man. I'm rich. Don't shoot. Here's my passport. Bro, he literally came out like this. He goes, y'all gotta move, man. You gotta move.
Yeah. See, that's well, not surprising. My guy was a bit more nice to me, which is just terrible, isn't it? In many ways. But he was like, listen, it's easier for me to move you than it is to move all of them.
Yeah.
So he started escorting me away. The problem was, people then thought, they're arresting Miller. So
Free Miller! Free Miller!
It then got more Larry. And I had to tell him, guys, we're gonna do it in the park. But honestly, it was I don't want to say riot, it's a bit much, but it was close to being a big fight. Like it really, really was. Wow. Even I at one point, and I love the stuff, I love the madness. Even I at one point was like, man, we got to calm these people down. They were so mad about Cody Rhodes losing, and they were drunk, right? Which is a terrible combat. And they want to be on camera, which I totally understand. But these three things coming together, oh man, yeah, it was. Yeah. I have some footage that one day I will put up where it's not actually fun to watch. It's worrying. Yeah. It's like, oh no, this stupid show on YouTube has turned into like, it's cool, man. People are passionate, but again, that's what I mean. Let's keep the line. Yeah. Let's not go over the line. But yeah, it was a scary one.
I think I think we walked past you. I think we probably walked past you as well on the way out. Obviously, we had to go because the queue to get out, get a taxi.
Yeah, after the first night, we said you're not hanging around. We didn't get back to where we were staying maybe for like another 2 hours.
It's crazy.
Like 1 a.m. Was it 1 a.m. we got back?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was 70,000 people, right? Like, it's always going to be a bit of carnage and stuff.
I want to quickly ask you, how was you had a match with one of our guys, Sir Wilkins?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
how was that?
My man Sir Wilkins. We had 2 matches now. Well, it's a bit crap because he turned on me and whacked me in the balls. Thanks a lot, Sir Wilkins. Meant to be a babyface match, you son of a Hubbard. But no, he's a great guy. Like, he's a really nice guy and he really cares. And the cool thing I loved about that is, one, overseas booking. I mean, you'll never get the smile off your face when you're on a flipping flight that somebody else has paid for to help you wrestle. And also, that was his first proper match that we did. Yeah. And it was great because I got to be, I don't want to go ring general, that's too much, but it was, he looked to me for what do we do? And I was like, well, I think we should do this. And he had a bunch of ideas. Yeah, he's great. And then we did the tag in the summer where I got to sort of be more of the bad guy because it's his hometown, right? Yeah. That was the coolest thing too, actually. I just shatter all illusions. But originally we were going to do the Hogan Rock thing. Oh shit. I was going to push him and he was going to push me and we were both going to take a bump. They were going so nuts for him. I was meant to push him first. I said, dude, you got to push me first. I said, if I push you first, we're going to just destroy him. He's like, it's not what we planned. It's not what we planned. I was like, dude, push me. And eventually he pushed me and went, yes. At that point, I just went, we literally did Rock Hogan. I was like, I'll be the heel. You be the face. Just kick my ass around it. It was great. So Wilkins, he's a super nice guy. I like him a lot. And he cares. He really, really cares. Yeah. I love Sir Wilkins. He's a great dude.
We saw him last year for the first time. I'm sure that's mad love, man. That's sick, man. You're going Mania this year?
Yeah, I'm going to Mania this year.
You getting booked out there?
Yeah. I'll be working for Progress on the Friday. I was going to take on more bookings. This ties into the other thing that we were talking about. My WrestleMania is going to be the most nuts thing ever. Of course, we've got a bunch of videos to make. Got 2 nights of WrestleMania. Going to be working for Progress. And literally on the Tuesday, as soon as Raw Ups and Downs is done, I'm flying to New York to start this last match thing I'm doing. I did not know these 2 things were going to connect, but I was like, segue. I probably shouldn't be taking any more bumps in case something goes really badly. So yeah, so during the pandemic when we couldn't wrestle and we couldn't do anything, we're just not very good at doing nothing. So I sat there and I was like, what do you want to do, Simon? When the world opens up, what do you want to do? And something I'd done as a kid that I missed a lot was acting. And I thought, well, that's a cool thing, man, because if you start going to acting school, it will help your promos. If nothing else, you can construct a more emotional promo. You like promos. That's kind of your thing.
Just a quick question. Do you feel like more indie wrestlers should look to maybe go into acting school to develop their...
I think all wrestlers should go to at least 6 months worth of acting school because, again, I actually wanted to pursue it, but when I actually then started, I hate these words, damn acting, deconstructing promos, you do look at it and you go, what? You can't help it because they put it in your brain. What am I trying to convey? What's my goal here? What's my obstacle? And when you start doing that, you put in a promo, you'll do it and you'll watch it back and you go, it's not realistic. And you just change a word here, and then you watch it back and you go, and look, you talk about Roy Johnson, right? Bless that guy. He's one of the guys that got in touch with me and said, Mel, you can tell that you've taken on some kind of training because your promos are just completely different to how they were. So yeah, I think everyone should do it. And if you don't want to act, it will just teach you how to approach a situation. So you don't just do the, I'm going to kick your ass, which is fine. Apart from when they do, what's the deal with people doing it from toilets? So a selfie in the toilet. in the toilet, right? And it's all like, man, I'm so mad. I was doing a shit, but now I'm going to kick your ass. Like, just go outside or something, right? That's just a pet peeve of mine. But yeah, so I said, what do I want to do? I'm going to go to acting school because I knew that wrestling wasn't going to open up for ages. It's 2 sweaty people rolling on each other. There ain't no way the pandemic was going to go to that. So I found an acting school that was quite close to my house. And I went, I just loved it. Like I really, really loved it. It was my biggest thing in life, as you probably figured out, is I love feeling uncomfortable. I love walking into a room and being like, I have no idea what's going to happen now. And I feel like I'm 8 years old. Because you just learn so much about yourself. Yeah. And even if it does all go wrong, you just run home, you have a pizza, you cry. Yeah. And then you wake up the next day, you're like, oh, it's like Groundhog Day. Everything reset. We can go again. So, so I started doing that. And that was cool. And somehow that has led to... So over WrestleMania 39, there was a wrestling theatre rock production called The Last Match. Matt Cardona was the bad guy in it. I watched it. It was really cool. They did smart right, jump off the WrestleMania bandwagon. They sold a couple of tours out. So they decided to do a tour. And yeah, just to cut a long story short, somehow, I kind of auditioned for them. And I'm going to be doing the role that Matt Cardona did. Because he doesn't want to go on tour with a... It's very kind, man. He's smashing in indie wrestling, right? And while I'm doing well over here, I think, he's on such a higher status compared to me. For me, it's absolutely a huge step up. So, literally, I fly on Tuesday from Philadelphia to New York, where I'm going to be out there for 3 weeks rehearsing this play. I can't say who it is because I haven't announced it yet. But when you see the other names, you'll know who they are. That's when you'll start going, what did they cast Miller for? Like, it's that person and that person. And I think it's it's the biggest thing I've ever got in terms of acting. What a great segue drug, right? Because it's a wrestling show first and foremost. There's some singing in it. Oh, I can hold it. I'm not great, but it's meant to be over the top singing, so that's fine. But it's also acting and it's also theatre. So we're taking all these things and we're throwing it together. So I'm hoping I can get a bunch of experience. Like I say, it's a 6 weeks tour of the East Coast and then come back home and just see where we're at and stuff. And then hopefully use that to move on to other things. Because again, like, I do understand when people say you should focus on one thing. I do think there is stock in that, but that's not the way I'm built. It's just not. I need to wake up one day. Today's a wrestling day. The next day is an acting day. Now it's a YouTube day. It's just what I need. I've tried to focus on one thing, and it doesn't make me my passion. It doesn't fulfill me, right? So, and sure, maybe I'll look back one day and go, "Oh, you should have picked a lane," but I won't regret it. If I picked a lane, I'm going to regret it. And no regrets is my big... I don't want to be a 75-year-old man and go, why didn't you do this? So instead, I'll do everything. That should be really fun. But it did mean that, obviously, I want to do the progress booking. That will be fun. It'll be really good. But I was going to take other ones, but now I'm like, you probably don't want to get injured before you go on to a production that's had quite a lot of money put into it. So I'll do that and I'll cover WrestleMania. And then I fly out the first week of April and I don't get back to the last week of May, which I've never done anything like that before. So very intimidating, loads of anxiety, of course, but I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be awesome.
It's awesome, man.
Could you? I mean, off the back of your 6 week tour, could you potentially see maybe some sort of like character change? Like a bougie Simon Miller, I've been touring, I'm an actor now.
Maybe, man. Honestly,
I'm above everyone. I'm up, you're down.
Just you and me, but So I always pitch different characters to everyone. But bless them, promotions want me to be good guy Simon Miller. So shout out to UPW, Ultimate Pro Wrestling. They're the ones that said, Simon, we're going to let you. Not only are we going to let you be a heel, but we're going to stay with this until we make it work. And they just said, we'll keep it nice and simple. You're going to be Moneymaker Miller. It's literally what you just said. You made all this money on YouTube and you think everybody else is a piece of crap. And at first, people were like, no, we don't care, whatever. And I had a match last Friday. For them, it was a 6-man tag street fight because I've teamed up with 2 other guys. Shout out to my man, TBA, or Bros TBA. And we walked out and we pissed that audience off so much. As soon as the music hit, oh, boo. And I was so happy. There's so many people said Miller can't play heel. Miller, you just have to give it time, though. So I would love to do that, man. I think you want to play every single part and every single character you can, just in case the big call comes, right? And they go, we want you to do this. I've never done it. All right, we'll find someone else then. See you. So, yeah, absolutely, man. I'd love that. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Hollywood Miller.
Hollywood Mills.
Easy. Exactly right. Gonna copyright that tomorrow.
You'll probably get you and Conor Mills to be a tag team.
I got Conor Mills on Friday.
Oh, yeah, you got him on Progress, yeah.
Progress. Honestly, I had Conor Mills at Apex a few weeks ago. Someone said to me, watch those kicks. I was like, I'll be fine. He booted me. in the thigh. I have to admit, that was a great sell job. I was like,
I wasn't selling.
that's no sell, bro. I still got skin burn on my leg from the amount of ice I put on it the next day. He's great, though. I'm real pumped. I'm real pumped. It's rare that you get to wrestle someone so close together. And now you know a little bit more about him, how he moves, and vice versa. So I'm really excited about it because, I mean, that's my favorite thing about wrestling now. He is a top tier British independent pro wrestler. Like honestly, could be the next big thing. He's only going to get better. And working with him, I'll drive home and be like, holy crap, man, I've learned so much. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It was the same with the match I had last week against Rob Drake. Same kind of stuff. And he's managed by Lana as well, who's like manager extraordinaire and a great wrestler too, but she was in the manager role then. Same thing. You drive home and you're like, oh man. So I just want to take on people that are way above me. Because you get better and you can't help it. It just happens in the ring. Your just brain takes stuff in. So yeah, he's gonna kick my ass, but that's fine. That's good. I'll kick his ass too. So
Punch for punch, kick for kick.
Yeah.
Slap for slap. Slap for slap. Talk about WCPW quickly. Obviously, I was late into hearing about WCPW because I stopped watching wrestling. It's only when I started speaking to Doug again in university. And he was like, yeah, there's this promotion, blah, 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 and stuff. And that's when I found out about WhatCulture.
Excellent. Love it.
So, like, how did that all happen? How did that all start? Was you there from the Genesis? Or
Yeah, so I remember, I can't remember what year it was, but I couldn't go to the first event because I was still predominantly working for video games. I'd already started doing WhatCulture work, but I was like half and half. So I was going to E3. Do you remember E3? Like
E3, yeah.
So I was going to E3 and I was like, I can't get out of that. It's like a work thing. Like I can't do it. And I was gutted. Then I found out it was just like some ridiculous show in a warehouse. And I'm like, I didn't miss that much. But no, I do remember it. And I remember they were really serious about it. Like they really, really, because, you know, me and Ross were the commentators at first. And we were so bad, they got real commentators in instantly. And that's only because people forget whether you're a referee, you're the ring announcer, you're the timekeeper, you're the commentator. You have to have a skill. You can't just do it. Yeah. And Ross and I could have got really good, but we had no time to practice and we didn't know anything. We definitely didn't know the names of the moves. But yeah, anything that wasn't working, they invested huge chunks of money in it. They took basically all the profits of WhatCulture were making and they put it into WhatCulture Pro Wrestling. And it was crazy because the first one was from a warehouse and then the second one was from a hall. And then by the 10th or 11th one, they were in the Manchester ice rink. And you're just like, with Cody Rhodes and Kurt Angle, you're like, what is going on? Honestly, I got so... And I regret I didn't start wrestling just 6 months earlier because I probably could have got on one of those shows. But what it still gave me, the amount of people I got to talk to and the amount of wisdom I got to take from people. There was one show where Bret Hart had gone out to... Bret Hart had gone out to... They had got Bret Hart in. That's
he
right.
Came
the
to
man right there.
Pro Wrestling.
You know, they booked him to be on a couple of shows and to introduce the tag titles, I believe.
Are you not serious?
Yeah. It was in Manchester.
Why did you not tell me this for?
I'm pretty sure it was in Manchester or Newcastle, one of the two.
Crazy.
Jim Ross was there as well.
Yeah, I know about Jim Ross. What year was this, by the way?
Like 2016, 17, 18, something around that.
That wasn't.
I went to one of the World Cup shows where Kurt Angle and Rey Mysterio.
That's right.
I think one of the ones in Milton Keynes.
Yeah. So it's one of those shows, right? Bret Hart's on the show.
That's crazy.
Someone comes up to me. Bret Hart goes out. I think it's whatever. He reveals a belt. And someone comes back to me and says, oh, like, Bret needs a chaperone back to the hotel. He doesn't know Manchester. He wants to make sure he gets to the right place. I went, I'll do it. So I sat in a taxi with Bret Hart, who's my favourite wrestler ever. This is why I love WhatCulture. And that's what I did. I just annoyed him. Said, give me the glasses, do the thing, give me the jacket. But no, for 25, 30 minutes, we just got to talk about wrestling. Yeah, can you imagine? I spat in his face. And you can't... I wasn't wrestling, but no one can ever take that away from me. And before I really worked up my courage to do this. Before he left the cab, I said to him, Bret, I'm trying to be a wrestler right now. I've killed myself if I don't ask. What's the one piece of advice? And he went, don't be Goldberg. He didn't say that. But he did say, just never hurt anyone. He goes, that's the art of professional wrestling. They don't care if you're a good match. Don't care if you're skilled. Don't care if you can do a flip on the top rope. You never hurt anyone. You're a good pro wrestler. Yeah. And I was like, how cool is that? Bret Hart gave me that piece of advice before he left. And I got loads of stories like that. I remember someone said, Simon, you got to go get... What line? Simon, can you go get Kurt Angle? I was like, what do you mean? What does that even mean? So I had to go into his hotel room and go, Kurt, they need you. I went, all right, let's go.
I would have had that entrance film playing.
You're at the door of the hotel, like.
I remember them running a relatively big, but not massively, venue in Islington. And I had to go to the airport to pick up Matt Riddle and Cody Rhodes in a cab. Crazy. It's just like all these crazy stuff that was happening. It's just like, it was the coolest promotion to be involved with because they did absolutely smash it. They did put so much money into it. And it was amazing. Like, even when Damien Sandow got fired, they were the first people to get him. So he turned up at the Newcastle, that pub they used to run, but it looked amazing. And he's just there. And he's talking, he's telling you all the stories. And he's just like, this is nuts. Crazy. So it was a cool few years, man. It was really badass.
Sundown was hot them times as well. A lot of people were angry that WWE had got rid
of
him.
I was upset that day.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic.
He was. He's a super nice guy. I won't sell the money, got paid a fortune, so good for that guy. But they did. They just invested. The best story I've got from it, actually, I don't want to not tell this, it's my favourite story. So we were working somewhere way up north. But obviously, wrestlers, once the tour's done, they've got to get back. They've got another show to do. They need to go home, wash their clothes. So I had to hire a big old van. I always forget people, but I'll give you mostly who I got. Will Ospreay was in that car. B. Priestley was in that car. Jim Ross was in that car. Ricochet was there. Alberto Del Rio.
What kind of car?
Paige.
You know what it is?
This sounds like a WWE
You know what it is? Can I give some content to do?
This is
Yeah?
a 2K DLC.
There's some channel, I think it's ESPN do it. They do stories. They do Mike Tyson stories. And Mike Tyson will basically be speaking about a story, but they'll animate on top of it.
Okay,
WWE do it. WWE do it.
Yeah.
I can't lie. That should be your next content. You should do stories and have this like sort. I can imagine that you driving the car and after having these wrestlers in the back, just like.
This is the thing, right? So, and Paige was there as well. This went Alberto Del Rio and Paige Day. I remember I was driving and I had this horrible moment where I was like, it was like 3 a.m. I'm tired, but that's my job, is to get them to the airport, to Gatwick, to get home. I'm driving. I just thought to myself, son, if you crash this car, you are taking out the past, the present, and the future. And because I'm so tired, I'm not kidding you, I drove home going like this. Like, punch myself in the leg. And everyone else fell asleep, apart from B. Priestley, at one point went, you're okay. And I was like, totally cool, B. But it was mad. I had those people, and that was my job. My job was a production guy, so I had to drive the people around. And I won't say his name either. Oh, this is the funniest thing ever. I love Jim Ross to death, right? And I got to drive him wherever the hell we drove him. This is when, obviously, he was out of WWE, but they were having all the issues with Roman Reigns, and he was telling me what he would do with Roman to try and get him over and stuff. And he was going out of his hotel. He used to work with someone in WhatCulture that just wanted to have a good time. He's the best, still talking to him today. He's one of my best friends. And one of the other WhatCulture guys came to the van. This other dude was in the front seat because this Jim Ross, he's all due respect, he's a relatively old man. He needed the leg space, etc., etc. And he said to this guy, he said, listen, you need to get in the back. And this guy, joking, went, yeah, I'm not moving for Jim Ross. and the other guy went, don't! He's like, I'm kidding. Of course I'll go in the back. Just tears. There's so much good stuff like that. But I had loads of journeys where I had to drive a bunch of famous professional wrestlers around, and also feel a little bit embarrassed because some of them were former WWE guys. Something they're being like, I don't know, Renault Clio. You're like, sorry, dude, it's all I got today. So
Legit this time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Just tap into like obviously the current stuff's happening now. My question to you is this: every wrestling fan's pretty much not upset, but like they've let their thoughts out about the whole Rock coming back to WWE.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Are you gassed? Are you like whatever? Or are you just like?
See, I approach wrestling in a very interesting way. I like chaos, right? I love chaos. I love it when the internet melts down.
Yeah.
It's
the best time.
It's
like,
the best time.
honestly,
Somebody always takes it too far. The fact that Ava Rain had to delete her
that
account for a few days.
yeah.
That's when I get mad.
Yeah.
Like, you took this really cool thing and you ruined it. You ruined it. Now listen, I'm not going to get into this. I'm name dropping like an absolute asshole, but I just like to get across people that have been nice to me. One day I'll be able to talk about it. Cody Rhodes has done things for me that he didn't have to do. The dude is the nicest man ever. And it's not just me. You will find a bunch of people from different varying levels in wrestling. I promise you, Cody Rhodes has done something for them. There's a reason that everyone loves him, and it's because he's the best. So do I want him to have his moment? Of course I do. Like, absolutely I do. I think it would be the best. But going from day to day, do I want The Rock to come back and mess everything up? Yes. Do
I was gonna say no.
no, yes. Do I want potentially, and I don't want this, but if Roman Reigns did win at WrestleMania 40, would I find the humor in it? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a roller coaster ride, right? It's not, it doesn't make it the right thing to do. It's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes should win at WrestleMania 40. As long as he beats Roman Reigns for the belt, even if Damian Priest cashed in on him instantly, it doesn't matter because he beat Roman Reigns for the title. That's what matters. And that's what you have to do. But if you don't do that, look at the wonderful nonsense that we get. That weekend, I was away and I was on my flipping phone in tears of laughter because people were so mad that one of the most famous people in the world had come back. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. And what did it actually do? It underlined to everyone, Cody Rhodes is a flipping megastar because the Hollywood actor is being told, we don't want you right now. We want this guy. So I just enjoy it for what it is. It doesn't mean they don't make a mistake. Like, if we had done The Rock versus Roman Reigns this year, I would have retroactively gone back and said WrestleMania 39 was a mistake. Yeah, it was a mistake because Cody has to win that championship now. If he loses then. But we don't know that at the time. At the time, I was a big advocate for it because I thought, sweet, let's go on this crazy year-long ride. So it doesn't mean that the chaos always results in good wrestling, but there is an enjoyment to be had with it. But ultimately, this is the cool thing about WWE at the moment. They did the right thing. They did. We are getting Cody versus Roman Reigns. I totally believe that Cody will win. The Rock's also going to have a match. There's just box office all over the place. So, yeah, I'm cool with it. And also, I remember I was live when Cody came back. And I thought that's one of my favorite moments in wrestling ever, experiencing that. I remember saying to one of the other WhatCulture guys, because this is when everyone was like, it'll be Stardust by Monday. I said, even if he is, it actually doesn't matter. He has that for life. And I think it's those moments that really matter in pro wrestling. And no one can ever take that away from the guy. And he's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So don't get me wrong. I have the smart wrestling side of me that knows what I want to watch. But I also have the other side of me that is very blessed where I get to do this for my lit job. So if somebody, shout out to CM Punk, you're the man, wants to create chaos all of the time, it benefits me and my professional life. So I do get something from it as well.
That's true. Benefits pretty much.
Like, if Roman somehow, like you said, wrongly retains, we actually have more to talk about.
Absolutely.
So much.
Absolutely.
So
and it's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
But isn't it great to have a conversation about a mistake?
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely
It's
it
mad
is.
when you put it like that. It's actually a blessing, you know. It's like normally when stuff like that happens, because I'm a fan of everything in it. Like, when I see that, I'm like, oh, flip, say that shouldn't happen, man.
That's great, though.
But then again, when we come on podcasts, everyone's here like, I hated that, but I wish you could have gone. It's your right.
And I feel like sometimes, I think as a fan, I think it's great to kind of like take the smartness out of everything. I feel like sometimes we're so engrossed in like, this is how the booking should be, this is why it makes sense. But sometimes it's like, this is why we have the barbecue club, because I like chaos. Like, sometimes shit just needs to go tits up, and it's like, okay, cool. Where can we go from here? You know, it's not the most ideal thing, but we know the reaction that people are going to give it online is going to be so hyperbolic that it's like, you know what, let's just have fun with it. So
that's my way. That's my way.
I feel like
Cody has to win.
It benefits.
I can't accept anything.
It benefits the industry because, you know, people love anger. So everyone's just going to be drawn to, what's happening over here? Why are you lot all complaining, etc. You know, people don't like good things. So
It's true.
I was saying like 2 weeks ago, like Joe Budden. I don't know if Joe Budden, rapper Joe Budden.
I recognize the name.
He's got a podcast in the States, and he rarely talks about wrestling.
Right.
So he saw the uproar that the Rock has come back. And for the last, say, 3 weeks, he's been talking about, he has a segment on his show where they give an update about what's happening in WWE.
Now he's going to WrestleMania.
Now he's going to WrestleMania, he's going to be at WrestleMania and everything. So
Well, like the next 3 SmackDowns with The Rock on it are totally sold out.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 6 back-to-back things. Let's not pretend he hasn't brought it. Of course he has. He's the flipping Rock.
He's brought back old fans. 4 old fans are coming back in.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you have to, if you don't like him, of course you're allowed to not like him. But you can't say that it's not beneficial to what we're doing here. It absolutely is. And hopefully, you know, when his time is done, he goes away, people will see Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, I don't know, The New Day, Imperium, Gunther, whoever. I'd pick whoever you want. They're like, I like that guy. I'll stick and watch them, right? It's why, it's a really weird aside, but as we just talked about him, this is why I think it's mad that Ricochet is not on that show right now.
Yeah.
If I knew I had a bunch of new random ass people say, Ricochet, you go out there and you flip your ass off, man. Because that's what new wrestling fans love. They're like, who the hell is that guy? And then you get into all the other stuff. But he's not even on the show, which is kind of
Like
crazy.
every week, really and truly, someone like Ricochet should be opening the show.
Yeah,
Like,
If you know you're going to
tunes
get a
well.
massive audience, like, you know, we sold it out, The Rock's on the show, just put Ricochet at some point where you know there'll be a peak. I think it was Dijak that said on Twitter the other day that he thinks Ricochet's the best high flyer ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really like that conversation because without X, you need Y, and without Rey Mysterio, you don't get all of this. But in terms of what he can do, I mean, he's an absolute shouting there. But he just does nothing. I don't get it. It's really strange. And he's a super nice dude as well.
He can literally perform in the gymnastics.
Yeah.
He's a gymnast.
It's gymnast, yeah.
Olympics. He can do it.
So I find it weird. I'd put it on the show right now because I think you would that Will Ospreay Ricochet match. People still talking about it. I started watching wrestling because of that Will Ospreay Ricochet match. That was like 10 years ago or something. It's crazy.
You mentioned Rey Mysterio, yeah. I was actually thinking about this. So I was listening to something that was talking about all the young wrestlers that we saw at Elimination Chamber. Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, Tiffany Stratton, all doing their thing. Mentioned Dominic Mysterio as well. Listen, I want everyone to listen to what I'm going to say. The question, right? Don't jump. Don't rush. Just
Everyone
take
push your
time.
mics back.
Just take time. Everyone, listeners, everyone, like, do you think when it's all said and done, by the time Dominic's career ends, just on the trajectory he's on currently,
I know you're going to say.
do you think he's going to be a better WWE superstar than Rey Mysterio?
It's a great question.
Okay, can I...
That's a real smart, good question.
Because I think so.
Yes.
I'll tell you why. Dominic's character right now, yeah, bro, evolution on another level,
Bro.
Like, he's so comfortable. Even that boo stuff, I've gone past that now. He's good. He's good to speak in the ring, and even his in-ring stuff is great. Like, his whole character is good. Like, who says what 5 years from now? What's gonna happen next? If Dominic Mysterio now starts eating fufu and burritos and he bulks up. If Dominic Mysterio starts looking at Simon Miller here, this year, bro, it's a wrap for the scene. Yeah. It's a wrap.
Because I think Rey Mysterio is excellent. His legacy is fantastic. As a WWE superstar,
am I about to say this? Because I think we done break it down. And
yeah, we know maybe the mic skills
are not really
everything might be not as up to par.
Character A1.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's more just like, and this is gonna sound bad. There's no way to say this. Like, it's like he's living off the legacy of Rey Mysterio. Like, as a WWE superstar, have they ever really?
With Rey Mysterio, I don't think there's ever been some sort of like, they haven't really tested the waters with what Rey Mysterio can actually do. I feel like with Dominic, there's more upside because when he came in, we've seen him as a babyface. Now we're seeing him as a heel. So I feel like with Dominic, he's a bit more versatile and he's still quite young as well. So I feel like, yeah, the upside is, the trajectory is going to be way longer than Rey Mysterio's.
I do think there's something we've got to throw in here. It's 2 points. Feel free to call me a bald idiot. It's fine. Happens every day. Rey Mysterio did literally change wrestling.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Without Rey Mysterio, we don't get 75% of what we're getting today.
85.
Well, yeah. But also, he did it at a time where he was literally laughed out of locker rooms.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like on a way bigger level. It's kind of what the YouTube thing we talked about earlier. I'm not working with the 5'4" guy. No way. So I think because he had to overcome so much adversity and because he did open so many doors, by the time he got to WWE, it was almost like, especially given it was the land of the giants in like 2002 or 2003, whenever he joined. I think he was always going to be fighting a losing battle. Gets into all the Eddie Guerrero stuff, which is, it's murky waters when you watch it back now. It's kind of good, but it's kind of in bad taste. And I think the thing with Dominic is, because he was born into the WWE system and because he has proven that he can be an incredible bad guy, I almost think that he can just utilize what's already been presented to him. He doesn't have to open any doors, right? He can literally just focus on being a WWE superstar. Yeah. And I think actually when you look at what a tick box is, I would say, he does have more than Rey Mysterio. But I think Rey Mysterio, again, had to go through so much other stuff to get there. It's almost like, it's one of those things where it's like you can't have I mean, and obviously, no, literally you can't because he gave birth to him or
Yeah.
helped do so. But you can't have a Dominic without a Ray because Ray had to go do the Mexico stuff. He had to do the WCW stuff. And the Halloween Havoc 1997 match, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Legendary.
It is. And do you know what I mean? So I think it's just that amazing thing where you're 100% right in what you say, but you have to have Rey Mysterio there for even to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it's, but I would absolutely agree with Dominic Mysterio in terms of what you expect when you turn on a WWE show. And I think that dude's gonna fly, man.
I honestly think, like, obviously, Ray's, like, just to come off the back of what you just said, Ray's, like, the bigger wrestling star, will be forever the bigger wrestling star.
Well, I think Rey Mysterio could genuinely be the greatest wrestler ever. If you look at because when we do retro ups and downs, right? He's always there. It pops up. 97, he's there. 2004, he's there. 2007, he's there. He's never bad.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. In many ways, you're like, well, you've got to be considered one of the greatest wrestlers ever. It's
Rey
crazy.
Mysterio is someone I could say has always been consistent.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if he's not doing what he was doing in the 90s, he's always been able. Like even in the last 2 years, we've always said on the podcast, like, it doesn't make sense how Ray is still so good. It doesn't-
And
one of a
literally
kind. Like,
everywhere that he's
makes
gone and stuff. Even original All In, like, he was there in the main event as well, wasn't he? Like, but Dom's 26. And I just feel like he's going places within the WWE universe, this is, that maybe his dad didn't quite reach, but his dad is obviously just a massive wrestling star.
My question is this. Obviously, when the Judgment Day stuff is all well and done, are we now seeing Dominic do this thing by himself?
That's going to be the biggest
Because
test.
Judgment Day really helps him a lot with Rhea Ripley, Finn, and Damien. Like, he fits them well. But once he starts going on a lone wolf type thing, that's when we'll be like, okay, cool, he can hold up. You know what I mean? I think he can.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I got no doubts at all.
Yeah,
I mean, because when he had that SummerSlam match with Seth Rollins, if I had told you what he's going to do now, you'd be like, whatever. So I think now it'd be silly to go, no, he won't. Well, he probably will. He's proved us wrong once. So, no, I think he's going to be... I genuinely think in another, 5-6 years, if it all goes well, put him at the top.
I remember
See what happens, right?
that match he had, Rey Mysterio had with Brock Lesnar, but Dom was ringside. And that's when he had the first bit of
That's great.
action.
I love
That
it.
match was so
He took an F5. He took an F5.
He was so
He took an
good, like,
F5, bro.
Honestly, moves like that, you'll know this soon. The first time you have to take an F5 or
DDT.
what other crazy front bumps you have to take, or RKO, right? Or jump off the second and take an RKO. Yeah, sure. Then that second, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, those front bumps are scary, man. And you know what you
A
always
lot of
do?
people don't have to take them as well.
Well, everyone lands on their knees.
Yeah.
As,
They land on their feet.
you land on your knees. You're like, damn right, landed on my knees. Honestly, man, I've taken one F5 from Yestin Reese, who's a big guy if you don't know.
Yes,
Never been so scared in my entire life.
How you land? You landing like so? Do you know? Obviously, when you take a bump, right? You're landing like this, like that. Oh, I'm saying, like, when you take a front bump, are you landing like this then?
Well, you try and land like that. When you want to try, so you try to land just so you sort of your legs and your palms.
So you're landing straight.
Well, you try to take it so like you're a little bit
off the ground.
off the ground, yeah. But when you got a giant man throwing you, 9 times 18, you're like, well, I'm going into the
yeah,
ground.
Speed and momentum
Yeah,
comes
you just
into
have
play.
to take it. That's why it's a terrifying bump. But
That's one thing I learned about wrestling. That's one thing I learned about wrestling. Like, certain moves, you just like certain things in life. Like, you just have to do it. Have to do it.
That I mean, obviously, there's more important advice, but I think that once you're in it, I think that's. So I had a match on Sunday for Progress. For whatever reason, I just had this bee in my bonnet where I was like, man, I'm going to bump the shit out of everything today. And when you start doing that, it hurts after, but nothing hurts at the time. Like, I took this neck breaker on the outside, and I said to breaking all the walls down now. Not like I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart talk about their Mania 13 match. If they can do it, we can do it. But he said, I'll give you a neck breaker on the outside. I said, dude, just make sure I really want to bump it. I bumped it so bad. So I was in the front where I went, fucking hell. And I was like, yes. And then when I was driving home, I was like, oh, my hand. But it's true. When you just attack these things, it looks better and you feel better. And it makes your confidence go through the roof.
Yeah.
So, it really is an important thing to do. But F5, you don't do anything. That's all on the guy giving it to you. It's really scary, man.
That's crazy.
I couldn't imagine.
Like power bombs. How many power bombs have you seen?
Power bombs are
bro.
crazy.
Right.
Now when you guys are describing it like this, to take a power bomb from
I took a
last
pa-
ride.
I took a power bomb, right? Well, it's very sad. I took a power bomb. It's a hardcore match, right? Years ago. And I was being all like, yeah, whatever, man, I'm so cool. And he said, we're gonna go to top rope. I'm gonna do top rope powerbomb through a table.
Top rope?
Right? Top rope powerbomb through a table.
What time have you got to tuck in your chin?
Bro, you know there's nothing else above the top rope.
Right.
So you can fall backwards.
I know.
Yeah.
But, so the guy, I'm kidding you not, right? So on the top rope, the guy has me up. I on my life, right? If Harry Potter had flown in and gone, I can wave my wand and you can just vanish, I said, Harry, please. Please get rid of me. Honestly, I was so scared. Took the bump, it was all okay, tapped my chin, no problem. But when you're up there, this is what you said earlier, I thought it was really astute. You think of someone like a Kenny Omega, or you think of someone like Edge doing all the crazy stuff they used to do. Like, how? How do you do this stuff? And no wonder they're all working out broken, man. It's unbelievable. And we should respect them way more than we do.
Even like there's little intricate stuff like just tucking in your neck on time, or just like doing like holding a certain part. Because for example, now that I'm watching wrestling, I'm seeing a lot of wrestlers do this now. Like their hands, they take a bump straight in like that. Because if the next man run and steps on your hand, you know what I mean? Even just like getting up in a certain way, if you get up, you stumble your foot. Like obviously big up my coach and stuff. He's like stumble your foot. Like there's certain things you need to get right before you actually start doing that stuff. So honestly, like I said before, the appreciation levels are high. No one can chat shit about wrestling no more. I can't lie. No one can chat shit, man. But yeah, man.
I'm with you.
It's mad, man.
Last things. Yeah. So before we get started, let me plug few sponsors. So yeah, big up Fanatics once again. Obviously the guys that were tuning in on our Elimination Chamber live stream. I think someone bought a Stone Cold Steve Austin tee. Big up you, man. I think it was Lino that bought it. I don't know who bought it. You bought a Stone Cold Steve Austin tee from our link, so big up you. Codes. There'll be codes in the description. I can't remember the codes off head right now. They might have expired, but there'll be codes in the description. I'll put them in the description. So guys, go grab a code. I think there's 20 and 40% off on 20% off on t-shirts, 40% off on title belts. 5th of March, which is next week, Hustle. We're back at Colour Factory. Guys, grab a ticket. You don't want to miss the show. One of the best shows in the UK. Go grab a ticket. What else? Also, yeah, by the way, guys, there's a Basement Views Instagram page.
That's right.
Yeah, follow the Basement Views.
Yeah. Go follow the Basement Views Instagram page right now and be in touch, be update with all the events and stuff.
The next one will be 31st.
31st?
31st, yeah?
Of March.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna write it in his diary.
I'm most likely going to celebrate my 30th birthday there, so yeah.
Nice. Can we quickly do predictions for Revolution?
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Before we get to AEW Wrestling's, so Revolution this Sunday. Sting's last
There's one match I've got a big gripe with.
What are you going to say?
The what is it? The meat invitation of the meeting.
Not enough meat.
It's not enough
Where's
meat,
the
man.
extra meat? It should have been 5 people minimum.
Extra inches, man. Not enough meat on this. It's just only 3 people.
So we'll get to, I'll tell you,
Wardlow,
Lance Archer,
and
how did you say guy?
Will Hobbs.
Where's Miro?
Well, it's a great question.
So
Where is Miro?
I think Lana is ill again with her arm or whatever happened. So he hasn't been on TV since December when he beat Andrade.
Last time I
innit?
saw him on TV was he was playing basketball.
On TV?
Yeah, it was in a basketball sort of like. You see it? A charity match sort of thing.
Okay.
The AEW lot. Yeah, I remember that. Was that on TV?
It was
I
like
saw that. I saw
It was a clip.
I saw
a clip.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. See, look at me. I'm trying to make Miro look bad.
Okay, let's go through this quickly. FTR versus Blackpool Combat Club.
Blackpool Combat Club.
BCC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to see BCC win the tag titles.
Yeah.
You've never won it before, no?
Who's Young Bucks? Well, Young Bucks will be.
Yeah, I
will
got
be champion.
BCC.
BCC.
Who you saying?
Um,
Don't hold your cards close to your chest. I know what this guy's doing.
No. I think BCC. No, I think
BCC. I know what he's doing.
I think BCC. I think
Trying to ruin the
BCC.
predictions, yeah.
No. BCC. Will Ospreay, his first official AEW match as a roster member, going up against Konosuke Takeshita.
Ospreay will win, but yeah, Takeshi shouldn't be losing. Give me awesome. Takeshi shouldn't be losing, man. It's crazy.
I want this meat match and this Takeshita thing to end Don Callis family.
Yeah, pack it up.
Yeah, let's be done with that.
Pack it up.
Eddie Kingston, the Continental Crown Champion, defending it against Bryan Danielson.
No, Eddie Kingston's winning.
Yeah, I think Kingston, because Danielson just seems to want to lose to everyone. So I'm going to go Kingston. I agree with you. He probably does, but he's the nicest man. He was like, I lose.
He has to put on good matches.
He does,
That's
yeah.
it. I don't care about the result. Yeah. Christian Cage defending the TNT title against Daniel Garcia.
I loved Daniel Garcia's promo last week, Wednesday.
I'm convinced Garcia wins because Adam Copeland comes back and screws over Christian.
Yeah.
Because then you can continue that feud without the belt, right?
Without the belt.
And I think they're both very cognizant of we don't want to look like we're stealing championships in AEW.
Yeah, that's a good
Give it
show.
to Daniel Garcia, man. That'll be great. He's gonna.
That's
gonna be great.
It's gonna flip.
Let's go.
Timeless Tony Storm defending the AEW Women's Championship against Deonna Purrazzo.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm, yeah.
Tony
I like
Storm
Tony
for the
Storm,
win.
yeah, Tony Storm.
Better as a heel, though, right? John Practice is better as a heel, yeah.
Quick question: what do you guys think after? Once this match is done, what do you think that means for Deonna Purrazzo? Is she? Because I feel like with AEW, they tend to have women go for the title and then they kind of like not go off in the background, but they.
I know what you mean. They kind of take a left turn, yeah.
I think
Like
Serena
they just stay in
Deeb.
the shuffle.
Serena Deeb, she's been making a lot of reference to being the best technical wrestler during this feud. Serena Deeb's returned recently, so maybe they do something between Serena Deeb and Deonna Purrazzo.
That would be good. I'd like that. Be good.
That'll be fun.
The Meat Madness match: Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Lance Archer.
I mean, Powerhouse Hobbs should win. It'd be mad if he doesn't. But then but that's why I think Lance Archer's there, right? Well, I guess it doesn't matter.
So Lance Archer is 100% there to take the
That's
pin.
the thing.
100%.
Lance Archer will lose. That's all I've got as a prediction. Like, yeah.
But obviously, they just
think-
gave Wardlow this
I think,
spotlight
yeah, I
the other
think
day,
Wardlow's
innit?
You're right. You
He's on
can't,
that-
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
do that speech and not win.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
There's not enough meat, man.
What, you don't think there's enough?
Nah.
Five people.
Butcher should be in here.
Yeah,
Butcher should be
yeah.
there.
Miro, like you
Bro,
guys
they can
said.
even get freelancers. Get Hammerstone. Get Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Get Jake something like. There's so many wrestlers. Bro, made this a meat bonanza.
Meat market. This is the meat market, bro.
It's a man after my own heart.
Make this a proper meeting. Trust me.
Turkey, duck.
Make this a proper meat meeting. You get me?
Oh my gosh.
Don't
Okay.
spare no inches, fam. Just-
Cool down. Let's go. Orange Cassidy defending the international title against Roderick
Oh,
Strong.
Roderick Strong,
It's
100%.
over.
100%.
It's over.
It's Roddy
Cassidy's
Strong's
been
time.
fun.
The world title match: Samoa Joe defending against Adam Page and Swerve Strickland.
Well, it would depend what's going on with Adam Page.
What is this?
I
that's
don't
going
know.
on with
Kayfabe, innit?
It'd be easy. If Adam Page is in the match, he should take the pin. Swerve can't lose. That's it.
Yeah.
If it's just one-on-one, Swerve's got to win.
Yeah.
You can't take away Swerve's momentum. He's too flipping good. It'd be madness. It'd be a stupid thing to do. I love Samoa Joe. I think Samoa Joe is one of the greatest wrestlers ever, genuinely.
Yeah.
But he can be surplus to requirements if needs be. If you need to pull the trigger early on Swerve because you want to do a double or nothing, scrap that. Do it now. Swerve Strickland is so ready to be like this monster star. Just got to let it happen. Got to let it happen. I'd be mad if it doesn't happen. I'd be so upset.
I think it's here, or I think it's big business.
Yep.
In the weeks or 2 weeks' time. Either way, yeah, it's happening very soon for Swerve. And then, of course, Sting and Darby Allin defending the tag titles against the Young Bucks.
If it's Sting's last match, I'm sure he's losing, right?
He's old school, right?
Go out on his back. Yeah. As they say.
My only problem with that is I think sometimes you got to look at the situation. And you got 16,000 plus people who have gone there to see Sting. I think sometimes you got to give them what they want.
How does he vacate the belt?
Just vacate.
Just vacate it next week, innit?
I'd be open to that.
Sting can get away with anything, I think, these days,
Yeah.
right? And I don't want the Young Bucks to lose. I really like their new persona. It makes me laugh. But I just think, do you really want to end Sting to the top of people going, oh? Like, it's like a really bad idea.
Unless it's to send the Young Bucks into a different stratosphere with the heel.
But this is the thing it would do, right? It has to be amazing for them.
Yeah, I think
we
that'd be
retired
great.
Sting.
Yeah, if they retire Sting, beat Sting up to a pulp.
Yeah.
Blood up and stuff, and they walk out. And after
And
they
also,
come,
they can pin Darby. Sting doesn't have to lose.
yeah,
So,
And yeah, I think it's a thing where, even like you said, if they want to just vacate it afterwards, like he's retiring from wrestling, he can come out next week on Dynamite and still just
that's
do
it.
do
Yeah,
a
yeah.
talk or
Totally.
whatever, innit?
Totally.
So
I think that'd be a good way to kind of like reshape the tag team division as well. Maybe have like some sort of tournament.
yeah,
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
yeah, cool, man. Go for it.
so another thing, last thing. Hey, RIP Virgil, man. Obviously
Yeah,
he dropped
man.
today.
Oh, man.
That was sad
Yeah.
news, man. One of the first black wrestlers I actually saw live on TV on my VHS cassette, and I never knew anyone else but Virgil at that time.
I literally thought of you when I read the
Bro,
news.
my heart dropped.
Dude,
man.
honestly, first VHS I ever had was WWF SummerSlam 91.
Oh, yes.
I had no idea what was going on. what is all this war stuff? Because you had the flipping Iraqi sympathizers.
Yeah.
All I knew is when he won the $1 million title, that place went nuts.
That was a moment.
All I knew was, well, that's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That's my earliest wrestling memory, that is.
Yeah.
Horrible news.
I love the theme song as well, man. Just
Rest in peace, man.
I was going to talk about the DM I had, but we ain't got time.
Oh, when he scammed.
He scammed me, but it's fine. He scammed me, but I couldn't believe it.
Imagine your hero messaging you. You're gassed.
You know what's actually mad? I followed him, yeah. I followed Virgil. I was like, oh shit. Virgil's got an Instagram page. I followed him. This is during the pandemic. I had no money. Even though, so I followed him, yeah, and he messaged me straight away. And he's like, Anafi. But he spelled my name with like extra eyes. So I'm like, it's probably like welcome. I'm probably like, oh shit. I was like, hey, Virgil, you messaged me like, bro, I'm like, you're the first black wrestler I ever saw. He goes, yeah, man, I love that, man. But yo, one thing, can you do me a favor? I was like, oh no, this is a fake account. This has to be a fake account. I went back, I checked who he's following. I was like, okay, cool, it's a real account. And then I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, oh, could you buy my game on Apple Play? I'm just trying to like get some money, blah, blah. Just buy it, leave a review, and yeah, man, I'll appreciate that, man, because obviously the meat mafia running things right now. I was like, okay, cool. So I bought the game. I was like, Virgil, by the way, it was like 69p. It was not much. I was like, yo, Virgil, by the way, like I run a podcast. Love to get you on to talk to you. And he goes, yeah, man, that would be great, but just leave the comment. So he was like, send me a screenshot of the comment. I sent a screenshot, yeah, no response.
Oh man.
So I was like, shit, Virgil.
He was a hustler.
Yeah, he's a hustler, yeah.
Do you know the Ted DiBiase story?
What about?
How he'd tell conventions, oh, book me and I'm coming with Ted DiBiase. But he'd never chatted with Ted DiBiase. To the point Ted DiBiase got banned from conventions because they thought he just knows.
He's just not turning up.
And they had to tell him. He's a hustler,
That's
man.
jokes.
Yeah, the guy's a hustler.
Crazy.
But big up Virgil, RIP, man.
Rest in peace, man.
Man said Virgil, man.
Virgil. I was heartbroken, man.
Ask Wrestlings, where we get you, the people, to ask us some questions. Got our first question from our new member, Nathan M. Big up our new Discord members.
On Friday, man, on Saturday.
He asked, who should win the men's Money in the Bank this year?
Gunter.
Sami Zayn.
Whoa, do you think so?
Gunter should win it.
Gunter don't need it.
I'll tell you why Gunter should win it. Gunter should win it, yeah, and walk around WWE with this title. Like, listen, you know I'm going to cash in at Bash of Berlin. So, guys, be ready for it. It's going to be absolutely immense. So, here's the title. Here's it. I don't think Sami Zayn needs it.
No, I think Sami Zayn more so needs it than Gunther.
No, as in, there's going to be bro, once Sami Zayn has it and he cashes in, everyone's going to be like, oh. But if Gunter wins it, Gunter's going to go on a mad run. No one's getting the title of Gunter.
I think they'll give it to Logan Paul.
For TV purposes, that's a good move.
I'm with you. Hey, where's the pen? You got a pen today? Give it to him, please. Quickly. Don't run. You don't have it today. Simon's got a pen today. Someone's got a pen. Grab it.
Another question from our guy, Roy Johnson.
Big up,
Big up, Roy. Another one for the pod, especially Anafi, who is big advocate for production. Given the small changes WWE have brought in as of late, e.g. wrestlers walking to the arena, backstage Easter eggs, etc., what new ways would you like to see wrestling presented on TV?
Oh, bro, give me back WWE experience, man. Bring that back, like that match of the day type thing when they review every single show. Obviously, they do Talking Smack, they do the Raw show, but bring them all together. It's like match of the day. You've got Booker T there. You've got who else? Rosenberg. You got someone else there, and they're sitting down on the panel. Sky One, yeah, on Saturdays, 11 a.m. 11 a.m.
Do you think the internet has replaced that though? Because of like clips of just stuff everywhere.
Yeah, but if they had that as an actual show on YouTube, but then again, would I watch that? I wouldn't.
I think they would if they made it like an NBA Insider show or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I kind of watch basketball very casually, but I still watch all those shows because they're hilarious, right?
Yeah.
When you just got Shaq and Barkley just going nuts at each other.
Yeah.
I think if you could get that going, I think people would tune in. Yeah. I don't watch that for NBA information. Yeah. I watch it for those who just yell and stuff at each other. That's what I watch it for.
So something like that with like a rolling credits at the bottom saying thing of, for example, Logan Paul defeated blah 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 this week. Then you have the guests come on, you have like an interview or something, and people can come on and cut promos just to boost themselves up a bit. So imagine this shit. Imagine Bite This plus The Bump plus that show they done on Fox merge into one. Plus Match of the Day, Gary Lineker title merge into one. Bam, done.
I'll host it.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Call him. There you go.
Next question from our guy Atlas. We got Atlas. He says, question for the pod. What are your top 3 favorite years in wrestling? His one personally is 2018, 2017, and 2005.
I'm going to age myself here.
We might agree though.
1997 is one of mine.
Shit.
That's like one of the greatest. I mean, I was super young, but still, 97 is, you know, you got Bret Hart doing his thing, Rise of Steve Austin. There's a lot of bad stuff in there. Obviously, it's that time, a lot of offensive stuff, but you just move past that. Otherwise, I mean, they're probably 2001, same thing, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
And people go nuts at me for this, but it's true, 2023. I think last year in wrestling,
Yes,
absolutely
yes,
amazing.
mate. Yes,
I
mate.
think it's
Brilliant.
completely underrated as much as if you actually, because it's like people think, oh, you've got recency bias. It's like, no. If you go through that year from all angles, there's some amazing stuff
Best
last
year
year.
I've ever seen in my life, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I would agree. 2023 for sure. 96 for me, because I feel like that's my debut year into wrestling.
Yeah,
sort
totally,
of
man.
thing. And you're watching it through like innocent eyes of just like, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Learning. And the NWO. That's the most incredible thing I've seen in my life. I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't know about third, but that period that Atlas said, like 2017, 2018, especially when like New Japan was at its peak and stuff, was crazy. So, yeah,
I'm 92, 2004, and 2023. But honorable mention, maybe 2006.
I thought you were going to say earlier than that, like 2003. 2003 as well. For I liked
2003.
Yeah, it wasn't
cool,
a whole good year, but I liked a lot of stuff there. Like so,
2003 was 2003 was good. I only say it was good because I couldn't watch wrestling live then. I would watch it at my cousin. So when I got cable in 2004 full time, so I can actually tune in and watch it. That's when my papa got the proper thing of it. But I had lots of cassettes in '92, which kind of kept me up to date, and I literally enjoyed the colors, the way things looked. This is gonna sound stupid. This is gonna sound funny, but even the promos. Let me tell you something, brother. You know, back in the day, WWE had that little small screen that come up at the side.
Yeah.
They'll get the wrestlers logo in the background,
Yeah.
and you got Bret Hart like this. So like goes, I gotta match a Shawn Michaels soon. I love that shit. That shit was fun. That's why the Fiend versus Bray Wyatt's match, one of my favorite matches ever, because they had that in the segment in there with the steel cage and stuff. Even a lot Zeus. I love Zeus. When Zeus came out, I love that shit. So yeah, man, it's that 92, that whole 92 further back, 93. I think that's the best shit for me.
Laps.
I think mine is 2006 and 2008. 2006 because that's when I was introduced to DX and they were just...
whenever he says that's the version of DX he knew, I said,
No. Remember, I was in primary school. I was in year 5. I was doing wrestling in the playground because of DX. I was doing the DX chop, getting set out. Bro, 2006.
Even Batista and John Cena were running things as well. They were both champions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And 2008 as well because of TNA as well. Because they'll sit them there.
Shout.
I'll say 04, 23, and whatever year it was that Jeff Hardy won the World Heavyweight title.
Oh, wait.
Was that
Wait.
How do I feel like that's 2011?
I feel like 2011, yeah.
Wait, what? The world title or the
The
heavyweight?
World Heavyweight title.
That's
The
2009.
God.
That's 09. He beat CM Punk for it, I think.
And then when he left, CM Punk came out dressed as Jeff Hardy. I was I swear to you, I thought it was him, bro.
My favorite year of all time is 2002.
Yeah,
It's a good year, man.
I
That's
love
May 19.
2002. Yeah, favorite year.
great. Yeah,
I can't think of the other two. Last question from my guy Abba John.
we got
Who are some wrestlers that you think are once in a lifetime talents?
Now or ever?
Ever.
Is this the whole generational question?
I think I'm going to throw him in there. I think MJF is, given his age and what he's already achieved.
Who did you say, sorry?
MJF.
Okay.
I think because he's 26, 27, he's already holding. Well, he did hold a company. Well, you know, he stood tall at a company.
Yeah.
And no one. Some people didn't like his stories, but no one was like, that guy.
I love him, Jeff.
Yeah, he's amazing. I genuinely think him. I was actually having this conversation with someone on the internet today, I think Kofi Kingston, for people that don't actually get talked about enough. If you actually, Kofi Kingston's coming up for 20 years in WWE, and he's done everything.
Yeah.
He's done everything, and not because of longevity. Oh yeah, but longevity. No, that's just an extra thing.
Yeah.
What hasn't he done? He's never won a Royal Rumble. That's about it. You know what I mean? Like he's just, I think.
But he's synonymous with the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
that's
time.
the thing, right? I just think he's one of these guys that doesn't get his due, doesn't get his credit, just because he's always been there.
Yeah.
The dude is, I don't know. I'm such a huge fan in terms of people. I think if you were, because not everyone can be The Rock, right? But I also don't think everyone can be Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
It's a different level, but it's kind of like the Miz, kind of similar kind of dude. People that just you want to have a career in pro wrestling. Look at those guys because you're probably not Stone Cold, you're probably not The Rock.
Yeah.
You're maybe you could. I don't know. I just like to shout out Kofi Kingston.
There is definitely something for being able to, like, even if you think of a regular 9-to-5 job, to stay there for 20 years is something. Like,
Yeah, especially in WWE.
Yeah, where there's like a revolving door of people. Like,
And be consistently in the mix as well.
yeah.
I think Mercedes Moné could be one as well. I need to see what she does in AEW.
Yeah.
But I think people forget the mad fat following she has. That's not an accident.
Yeah.
And I think if you manage to sort of wind them up enough, it could become a real thing. Yeah.
They're like Beyonce fans, man. You say something bad about him.
Like Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the swarm, bro.
But I think it's the same with Mercedes Moné. So if you can sort of not use, that's the wrong word, but it usually means something's coming, right? Because they all have them. The Rock has them. Stone Cold has them. Like, you know, these just people are like, no. You don't say anything about them.
Generational.
Take
I've got 2.
Undertaker, yeah.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah, Will Ospreay. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
He's clear, man.
Sprizzy.
I'll say Bret Hart. Obviously, Bret Hart. That's a given, innit? Like,
I'll say
from the early Bret Hart to
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
like, yeah, it's just.
I'll say Shawn Michaels still.
Well, you don't believe me? You don't believe me?
Still, I don't believe you. There's nothing to believe.
Do you know what?
It's your opinion, isn't it?
CM Punk as well. CM Punk
yeah.
is, that dude is lightning in a bottle. And actually, just because it's funny, but also true, the Young Bucks. Young Bucks changed the entire wrestling business.
I agree with the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
CM Punk, I think he's one of these people that have, I don't think it was like innate in him, but he's worked extremely hard to kind of get
I just think it's just all the stuff. Again, it's the change that he's been able to bring, whatever that change is, good and bad.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone. It's like, again, he's just electric, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's terrible.
Yeah.
But I think that's why he gets into that crazy level. I mean, the fact that for 1 week he had the best-selling T-shirt for both WWE and AEW.
That's
That's
crazy.
different levels, man. That's something special. That is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add one more personal favorite. I'm just gonna say the Guns. I don't think we'll see a tag team like that, like them.
The Guns.
As in Austin and Colton.
Oh.
No.
You
I
said
think
the Guns,
Austin and
innit?
Colton. I got so
Austin
excited.
and Colton.
Like,
You got me there. You got me there. Hey, you're lucky someone's gonna clip this part, you know. I think the guy's gonna clip it. I don't think this guy's
They're good though. The Guns are good. But
I think you gotta say the Rock and Stone Cold as well. Like, you gotta
Yeah.
it's important.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I
Kenny-
agree.
Kenny Omega.
He's be a guy we
I
won't
want to
get.
say someone's name, but I can't say the
Styles.
person's name. I can't say no. I can't
Say
say
it,
the person's name.
say it.
I can't say the person's name.
Wait, why?
because of what
I
they've
don't want to
done.
damage no one in this podcast. I can't say the person's name.
Is he worth
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't know.
I can't say who it is.
Wait,
I
this.
Is it him?
can't say the
Move on.
person's name.
Move on.
Just be one.
Cowboy Woody.
Let's move on. And I'll chill, man. Chill.
How busy?
Chill. Yeah. So, yeah, big up everyone that sent us questions. Big up Simon Miller, man. That was a big
Next one is Sam American.
Cheers, guys.
Appreciate you coming on.
Genuinely privileged. You guys, I don't want to say this as I hear. You guys are flipping awesome. Like, you have a great show. Put so much effort. You put out such good, enjoyable content. I love that stuff, man. I think it's awesome. Some more power to you. Keep smashing it. For real,
you, man.
for real.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro. Once again, guys, check our bio for the discount code. Shout out to Fanatics for providing us with that link and also providing us with our own shop, I'll say. Also, guys, 5th of March, which is next week, Hustle going to be at Colour Factory. So, guys, make sure you get tickets. And also, guys, I remembered, next week Wednesday is Gone Independent. So, you might see a new Anarchy then.
Okay.
I might bring a new guest as well. So, yes,
Kumasi Plex, fam.
You mentioned him before, as a former WWE champion. He might be dropping us a message as well.
Okay.
So, just look out for that.
2K content.
Also,
maybe?
huh?
2K content next week.
Open to get content next week? Is it?
Release day?
Yeah.
No.
If it comes out, it comes out. If it comes out, it comes out. But yeah, guys, once again, big up Simon Miller for coming on, man. Honestly, it's been good, man.
Appreciate it, man.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I've been Anarchy.
Delboy.
Miller.
Laps.
Hola.
Mex.
Wrestling's podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast in the whole world. To tell your mum, to your girl, to your nan, to your dad, to your auntie, to your cousin, to your sister-in-law, to your brother-in-law, to your cousin twice removed, to your sister twice removed. Tell.
What I mean?
So
I'm speech. As in, like, your cousin.
basically, yeah. You threw me off. Anyways, by the man, for the Mandem. Bow!